Most women will gain a ton of body fat between the age of 45 and 55. And it's perfectly normal to gain on average about 20 pounds, which is 9 kilos, but it could be more, it could be less. But I managed to buck the trend and actually lose body fat. I reckon I went from 30% body fat to 18% body fat. So I'm gonna take you through exactly how I did it. Hello fam, and welcome to my channel. My name's Melissa Neal, and this channel is all about helping you, if you're a woman over 40 or like me over 50, get in amazing shape. And as I said, I went from 30% to 18% body fat between the age of 46 and I'm now 56, and the biggest transformation actually happened around the age of 51. And that's not normal. Normally we're going to gain middle-age spread. We're not going to be losing fat, but it is absolutely possible if you follow the right process. But as a side note, I've actually made a video all about how to measure your body fat, and in actual fact, I don't know exactly what my body fat percentage is. I'm guessing around now it's about 18%. My stage weight was probably about 15%. And when I started off in this picture, I was 30%. Now, that's just going on pictures. I'm not going on measurements. I'm not going on calipers. I'm not going on the scale, which is totally inaccurate if you use bathroom scales for body fat percentage, and I've made a video all about that, and I am going to link it here. First off, you've got to throw out of the window everything that you know about traditional weight loss methods when you hit over the age of 40. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about fad diets, I'm talking about the ketogenic diet, I'm talking about fasting, especially extreme fasting, and I'm talking about tons of cardio. Why is that wrong? Well, I did all that and I've made loads of videos about this. It's because you're going to lose muscle mass if you follow any of those protocols. What they actually do is they cause depletion in your muscle, and you're already losing muscle mass at a rate of 1% per year once you hit over the age of 40. So you've got to rewrite the book. That's what I've done. I've rewritten the rule book about fat loss for women over 40, particularly if you're in perimenopause or you're menopause or postmenopause. You cannot do those weight loss methods, and actually what they're about is they're about losing weight and they're not about losing fat. So let's talk about what you do instead. What do you do to lose fat? Well, what you've got to do is refocus your mind away from losing scale weight and instead think about recomposition. That is body recomposition. So what does that mean? That means putting on muscle. Putting on muscle is the most important thing out of everything. And B, it means losing fat, and that isn't the same as losing weight. Putting on muscle is actually a real uphill struggle. You're going against nature if you put on muscle once you reach over the age of 40. Why? Because of what I've just told you. You're losing muscle at a rate of 1% per year. So it's going to be tough. So you have to use, and this is what I did, all the tools in your armory to actually put on muscle. The main name of the game, once you hit over the age of 40, is focusing on putting on muscle, because muscle is going to increase your metabolism, and that's the thing that's going to help your body burn fat more easily just when you're sat around. So when you've got muscle on your body will turn into a fat burning machine when it wasn't before. And it certainly wasn't for me. I wasn't a fat burning machine, and now I am. So how did I do it? Well, the first thing, and I suppose this is the obvious thing, isn't it, is strength training. Strength training is now my go-to exercise. It's the most important thing that I do. I don't do it every single day. I do it 4 times a week. I split my body parts into different days. So I do 3 upper body days and 1 lower body day. So that is what I do come hell or high water, and I've stuck to that for the last 6 years. Is I do strength training as my main form of exercise. I do stick in cardio, so I do 1 session a week of military fitness, and that is high intensity interval training. So that's things like box jumps, that's things like burpees, that's things like battle ropes. And yes, it is really tough, but I know it's going to help my body burn fat more easily and increase my metabolism. So I absolutely love to do that. You don't have to do that. Another thing that I do tons of is walking. I pretty much get in 10,000 steps per day, and that's going to help my body burn fat more easily, and also it supports that strength training. It's boosting my metabolism, it's supporting the strength training. What else do I do? Well, at the moment I'm doing 20 minutes of cardio post my strength training, so that's 3 or 4 times a week. Not a massive amount. As I said before, we don't want to be doing hours and hours of cardio. And what I mean by cardio, I don't mean walking, I mean intense cardio. We don't want to be doing hours and hours of that, because what that's going to do is going to deplete our muscle even more. So we want the main focus, and that's what I've been doing, and that's how I've got lean. My main focus is strength training. And when I wasn't doing that as my main focus, I didn't see the results. When I was doing more cardio than I was strength training, I was actually seeing worse results, much better results now. I'm focusing mainly on strength training. Nutrition is absolutely key to all of this. And here I'm showing you like a typical lunch. I've got chicken breast there, and I've got a coconut wrap, and I've got some lovely veggies. I love to fill my plate up with veggies. And the main thing to understand with nutrition, it's not about starving yourself. It's about giving yourself plenty of protein, not skipping on carbohydrates either. You know, we want to be monitoring our carbohydrates. We don't want to overdo it on carbohydrates, but we need carbohydrates to fuel our muscle for training, particularly strength training, and we need them to have the energy to get through the day. So it even helps with your brain function, and when you're going through menopause, you can have problems with brain fog and all the rest of it. And for the rest of the day, you know, pre-workout, I'm going to have a couple of rice cakes with something like peanut butter powder. I'll have oatmeal and protein powder for breakfast, topped with berries. And then, you know, you've just seen lunch. Dinner, kind of like some baked fish and veggies, and then I'll have some kind of snack somewhere during the day. And I love at the moment to eat my kind of protein baked cake, and there is a recipe on YouTube for that. People often ask me, what supplements do you take, Melissa? And what you've got to remember with supplements is nutrition is actually far more important. And also the exercise you do, doing the right amount of exercise, the right amount of strength training, the right amount of things like cardio and walking. But these are the supplements I really swear by. I think they've made a huge difference. I supplement with protein powder. You know, you don't need to do that. You can get all your protein from food. Just makes it easy for me to get that 1 gram of protein per pound in body weight. The other thing I absolutely love is branch chain amino acids, BCAAs for short. They're going to help me replenish and build my muscle. But my absolute favourite has to be creatine. I think that has really helped me build a significant amount of muscle in my 50s, and as I said before, it's actually really hard to do. Now, people often ask me, Melissa, do I need to take HRT to succeed in muscle building and in particular fat loss? And the answer is no. I did all of my bodybuilding shows without the use of HRT. I do actually take HRT or hormone replacement therapy now. However, I actually gained weight. So I gained about 5 pounds when I started taking it a couple of years ago. And I would say to you, you do not need to take it for fat loss. What you want to be doing is taking hormone replacement therapy to actually manage your other menopause symptoms. So I took it for anxiety, hot flashes, night sweats, and I also had extreme fatigue. So I found it really, really helpful for that. And obviously, if you can manage your extreme fatigue, it means that you may be able to work out, but it's not absolutely necessary for fat loss. And what you might find, like I found, is it actually makes you gain weight. So you want to be careful of that. That's exactly how I did it. That's how I went from 30% body fat to 18% body fat. You can do it too. Just give yourself enough time. I'm talking about a 5 to 6 year result from that. When I was 51 years old, I actually got to 15% body fat. That was my stage weight, but I did spend 2.5 years actually failing. So do bear that in mind. You can do it quicker, but always remember that building muscle actually takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, and so you do have to be patient to see the result from this type of protocol that I'm talking about.